So in 2018, we became Nutrien, and Nutrien is the merger of two big companies, one called Agrium, the other called Potash of Saskatchewan. And with that change here, really became a strong focus on community involvement, and not just at the company level, but at the employee level too.
One of the nice things about working at Nutrien is that Nutrien is very focused on giving back to the community and supporting community programs. They know that the employees themselves are the best source of knowledge of the good organizations within the local communities. So they support the employees with the giving program where every employee has basically $5,000 in a giving account that they can donate to any organization they want, and the Nutrien will match that 100%, up to $5,000 a year.
The Wild West Relay is amazing. It's a 200-mile run from Fort Collins to Steamboat Springs every year. We have 12 runners on our team, so we each take 3 turns running.
It is a continuous relay. You run through the night, rain, wind, whatever nature decides to throw at you. Prior to working at Nutrien, I was not a runner. I could not run even a half a mile. In 2019, the team was looking for an extra runner, and I decided to jump all in and run about 16 miles that first year. So I trained for about 6 months and ran 16 miles.
I thought anyone that was willing to run was crazy, and I said I would volunteer to drive a van because that would at least help the team get there. But throughout the process, I was actually really inspired by everybody that was running in the race themselves. After that race was over, that fall I actually started running myself, and I'd never been a runner before in my life. So when I started running that fall, I actually couldn't even run a mile. So by the time the race came around the next year and we were doing it again, I volunteered to be a runner instead of a driver, and I've been running in the Wild West Relay since 2019.
Back in 2018, we got involved with both Wild West Relay and the Matthews House. And they said, but we're really in need of drivers. And once they had mentioned the Matthews House, I was hooked because I have a personal connection to the Matthews House. And so I went beelining across the room to David to make sure I could get one of the driver slots. And I've been a driver since the very beginning. We adopted 3 kids back in the late 90s, and the oldest one was about 3 years old at the time. And we learned very quickly that a lot can happen in the first 3 years of a child's life. And as he became a teenager, we began to realize he needed some extra help. He needed to hear from other people. And it was a combination of the younger people that he was able to talk with, as well as the adults running the Matthews House programs. And it was real helpful for us because he started to gain some perspective. He started to realize that he wasn't always the center of the world, and that his actions did have consequences beyond himself. It didn't solve all the problems, but it was definitely of value at that point in our family life. And he's married and has a little girl of his own. He still remembers to this day, the value the Matthews House was for him. So, back to the beginning, when they said we're running for the Matthews House, that's why I had to be a part of it.
On a personal level, faith is a big part of my life, and reaching out to those around us that are in need and whatnot is a big part of that faith. And so the work of the Matthews House was, for me, just a wonderful opportunity to live out my faith. And it happened to go and coincide with running too, which I love. So for me, it was just a wonderful opportunity on so many levels.
I am very passionate about raising money for the Matthews House. I have had different difficulties in my life, and I have a very good support system, but not everyone does, and that's kind of where the Matthews House steps in to be that bridge. And I really want people to have that opportunity to break those generational cycles of abuse and poverty. I think everyone deserves a fighting chance in this world.
It's just a lot of fun. I just enjoy the energy. And I will say this, the biggest part of the energy is not for the race. It's the fact that we're doing this for the Matthews House. Nobody is out there because they're a stellar athlete. Nobody's out there looking to set a personal record. They're out there to run this race because they've raised the money, and now the last part of the commitment is to finish the race so that the money goes to the Matthews House.